Hello students, this is assistance on AG9 and I have open on my screen both the text AG9 that you were asked to read in MUT, and you can see that I have numbered the paragraphs, and on the left side of the screen I have the document and it says use AG9 and it says AG8 and it really means AG9 to answer the questions in complete sentences. So this is a help video if you are looking for help. So question number 1, how it all started in the first invasion. So that goes along with this part of the document. And the question is, what did the Greeks consider their greatest and most defining moment? So I don't know what that is. So I'm going to go back over here to the text. So this thing. And I'm going to look at the first paragraph. And it says the Persian Wars were a defining moment in Greek history. So that means they were pretty important. And it says the Athenians, who would dominate Greece culturally and politically through the 5th century, regarded the wars against Persia as their greatest and most defining moment. So I can see there, those are the same words that are in the question. So I can be pretty confident that that's where we're getting the answer for question number 1. For question number 2, what caused the Persian Wars to begin? This is the event that caused the Persians to attack. And you are going to find that in paragraph 2. So right here, I'm going to make the paragraph sign, which is that. And that is in paragraph 2. So if you haven't read paragraph 2 carefully and done some mudding, you might want to go back and look again, because that's where you're going to find the actual event, the precipitating event that caused the Persian Wars to begin. Question number 3. Why is the Battle of Marathon considered the most important battle in Greek history? Using your own words will convince me that you understand your response. So I'm going to go back over here to the text, and I'm really going to look at paragraph 3. I'll put that right over here. So paragraph 3 is where I'm going to get the answer to why is the Battle of Marathon. So that's what we're looking at. Most important battle in Greek history. So within all of the wars that Greece fought, we're really looking at that one. I'm going to go to the second section, and that is the second invasion, and this is paragraph 4. And I'm asking in question 4, make an inference. So in this one, the answer is not going to be directly in paragraph 4. You have to think about it. What do you think's going on? Why would he do this? What are his motivations? Because the question is, why do you think Xerxes, and here's Xerxes, Darius the Great's son, why do you think he decided to attack Greece after 10 years of no fighting between the Greeks and the Persians? And by that I mean the 10 years that passed between the Battle of Marathon and then when he comes to power. What do you think's going on there? And again, it's not going to reach out and slap you in the head. You have to sort of figure that out. You have to infer. Number 5, this is something that we really talked about in our journal prompt on Wednesday. What did Themistocles do that can mark him as an important figure in Greek history? Be specific. So don't just say he was a Greek guy. We really want to know, what did he do? And you're going to find that in paragraph 4. Paragraph 5, again, this is something that you're really thinking about in terms of it's not necessarily going to come out in the text. You really have to think about it. And it says Athens' decision to build a fleet of ships and create a strong naval force, so ships and sailors, makes sense because of their location. Do you think Sparta also had a strong navy? Provide evidence for your answer. So in other words, if you say yes or you say no, that is not providing evidence. You have to explain why, and I'm telling you to consider using other resources, including AG6, which you will remember are your Sparta Cornell notes. So again, this one is not in the text. This is what do you think? Next section, they made a movie about this one. This is a very short paragraph, and I know I talked to quite a few groups that had this section in the Battle of Thermopylae. The question is, what reasons can you think of for why some of the smaller Greek city-states had already conceded defeat while Xerxes was gathering troops? And right over here, it tells you in paragraph 5, many of the smaller city-states had already conceded defeat and refused to send armies. So that's telling you it happened. Over here, I'm asking you to think about, why would a city-state do that? So we talked a little bit about that in some of the sections of class. So that, again, it's not necessarily in the reading. You have to infer. For 8, this is an objective question. You just need to circle the answer, and it says use context clues to identify which of the following words most nearly means resolute. And the sentence in paragraph 5 is, after a lopsided battle in which thousands of Persians were slaughtered, and the reason it's lopsided is because there were thousands of Persians but only 300 Spartans. The resolute Spartans were eventually surrounded and slaughtered. Okay, so I'm asking you, use context clues to think about what resolute means. And your choices are, does it mean weak? Does it mean determined? Does it mean unlawful? And does it mean cowardly? So I don't want you to look this word up. I want you to think about it based on what you know in that paragraph. Moving on, the end of the war, so you can see these 2 objective questions are based on these last 2 paragraphs here, and it really is a matter of you making sure you're reading the text. You are going to see these questions again. The battle that destroyed the Persian navy is the Battle of, and your choices are Marathon, Thermopylae, Plataea, and Salamis. And number 10, the battle that ended the Persian Wars is the Battle of, and again, same choices, Marathon, Thermopylae, Plataea, and Salamis, and you just have to pick the correct ones. For the summary is here, and we mark those as A, B, and C because they are really different from the text. And the question 11 asks you to review the 3 summary paragraphs from the text list, so you don't have to use a complete sentence here. List 3 signal words the author has provided. So I want to remind you what a signal word is. It's a word that an author puts in their writing to sort of draw attention to something, to let you know that this is important. And I want to point out to you what the signal words are. I can see this word that says one. This word says second, which is the same thing as saying two. This word says lastly, which is the same thing as saying 3. Those are your signal words. And with that said, you better look at what those things say because the author has pointed them out, these ideas, using these signal words. And this is where we get to number 12. Identify 3 major consequences or effects of the Persian Wars. So again, 1, 2, and it says lastly, but it's the end of the text, so I know it's got to be 3. So that's where you're going to find those 3 major consequences or effects of the Persian Wars. I hope this helps you on your education journey.